Good morning or afternoon, depending on where you all are starting today. My name is Zach Bailey. We are here to present some updates that we're making to the Informed Manufacturer program. I will be handing things off to Paul Klinger, our head of global business development, who will be walking you through the next steps in quality assurance with Informed Manufacturer. So Paul, I'll let you take things away.
Great, thank you, Zach, and good afternoon. Thank you, everybody, for joining today's webinar. As Zach said, my name is Paul Klinger. I'm the head of global business development. I work in LGC's Informed Supplement Testing and Certification business. Today's webinar will primarily be focused on informed manufacturing. It's designed to increase awareness and trust with your customers while minimizing the risk of cross-contamination of banned substances through our comprehensive certification program. I'm going to shut my camera down here while I present. And Zach, if you could go to the next slide. Yeah, so what we're going to cover today is a little bit of about the background on the program themselves, why this program exists, the issue around banned substance contamination. We'll go through some of the key elements of the Informed Manufacturing program, its benefits, what that certification process looks like, the auditing process, pricing, and then we have an exciting rewards program that we'll be also introducing, and then we'll wrap it up with some marketing support. So I look forward to presenting to you guys, and at the end we'll have a question and answer, so please put those in the chat at the end, and we'll be sure to answer those questions accordingly. Zach, next slide. So a little bit about our programs. We have 3 consumer-focused programs. The first one was developed in 2007, which was the Informed Choice program, followed by Informed Sport. Those 2 programs primarily focused on banned substance testing and certification. Our Informed Sport program is an every lot pre-release testing program. So this is the program that elite athletes use. They're being drug tested. They need to make sure that the products that they're using, the actual lots have been tested, and there's no risk of cross-contamination and them failing a drug test. Informed Choice was developed more for the recreational, active lifestyler consumer. This is somebody who cares what they're putting in their body. Maybe they're not drug tested, but they are looking for a safe, trusted supplement that they are, again, putting in their bodies. Informed Protein, this is a program we launched about 3 years ago. This is our first certification program that does not include banned substance testing. This is a label verification program specifically for protein. We're testing for the content in the bottle, that it matches the label, and then we also test for other contaminants such as melamine, amyline, where it's more harmful contaminants that have been known to show up in some protein products in the past. So this is a very comprehensive, again, certification program specifically for label verification. Then we have 2 B2B focused programs, Informed Manufacturer, which is the reason for this webinar, and then we have Informed Ingredients. So this is a certification specifically to ingredient suppliers where we certify their ingredients. So when they're providing products to brands or to you as a manufacturer, you know that their product has also been tested and certified against banned substances. Next slide. As far as the global footprint of the company or of the programs, we started in 2007. We had 2 brands and 6 products to launch the program. In the 17, 18 years since we've launched the program, it's grown rapidly and across the globe. We work with over 943 brands. We have over 5,200 certified products. You can find informed certified products in over 150 countries. And we actually produce or do the testing for about 43 different countries. So we're truly a global program. If you look at the total samples tested since the beginning, it's 229,000, almost 239,000 samples. We're currently testing 25,000 samples per year. We're the largest certification program in the world. And if you roll all of our competitors up into one, they still wouldn't match the number of samples that we're testing in a year. Next slide. So what's the reason for the certification, and is there really an issue with banned substances in supplements? Well, the answer is yes. With athletes, typically when athletes fail a drug test, in most cases, they either knowingly did cheat or they used something that they just weren't paying attention to what was on the label or what was in the product. But there have been many cases of athletes that have used cross-contaminated supplements, and here are just a few of them. We're not going to go through each and every one, but these are examples of athletes who did consume a supplement where it was either cross-contaminated unknowingly, or in one case with Paul, it was in there intentionally, and that was a case that I personally was involved with, where a brand actually included oxaliferine in the product but didn't list it on the label. So it is an issue, and from an athlete standpoint, you could lose your career just by something as simple as, like I said, consuming a product that maybe had a cross-contamination issue from various sources, which we'll get into here in a second. Next slide. So what are the threats? What do we typically see when we find a screening indication? DHEA is probably the most common. This is a legal supplement that's sold in stores across the US especially, and it's a product that is very sticky. It's very hard to get out of the equipment. And so this is one where we tend to see a lot of cross-contamination issues from manufacturing equipment if it's not cleaned properly, or we do see this naturally occurring in some botanical ingredients. And you'll see a number of these that they are found naturally occurring within ingredients. But again, many of them are cross-contaminated just at its source, or just through poor cleaning practices. One interesting one was bupropion, which we found in a product. We did an investigation, looked at the ingredients themselves. Turned out it was an ingredient made in a pharmaceutical manufacturing facility. So despite the levels of quality control within there, it still caused a cross-contamination with that raw material. So, from what we're testing down to, you can see this coming from almost anywhere. Next slide. The levels, what we test down to is, we test in the nanogram per gram level. So that is parts per billion. If you look at, if you put this into context, if you take a teaspoon of a banned substance and dissolve that in an Olympic-sized swimming pool, that's what we're looking for. That's what we're able to see. It's that sensitive of a test. And we're often asked, well, you're testing down to a nanogram per gram or 10 nanograms. Is this really going to cause an athlete to fail a drug test? Probably not likely, but what we're doing is we're ensuring that we're testing at such a level that this could be defensible in court. So if an athlete failed a drug test, if it's something that is below that parts per billion level, it's not likely that that product caused that failed drug test. And so what we're trying to do is protect not just the athletes, but we're also trying to protect the brands as well as the manufacturers, which is incredibly important, because when an athlete fails a drug test, they're looking for anybody that they can blame. Next slide. Where does the contamination come from? Typically from two different places from what we've seen: raw materials or manufacturing sites. And this is based on over 18 years of investigations. If we see a screening indication, that kicks off an investigation. So what we're looking for is, where did it come from? Did it come from an ingredient? Did it come from the manufacturing site? So we'll go through an investigation to find that source. Most cases, from a raw material standpoint, it was a contamination at the source of manufacturer. So maybe it was produced in a facility in a high-risk country where they have very poor quality control. Within that facility, they could produce a product that has a steroidal compound in it, maybe not clean their equipment properly, and then that goes to, that product, maybe it's something as simple as branched chain amino acids. It gets cross-contaminated at the source and makes its way into the product. We've had cases before where we discovered calcium had nandrolone in it. Turned out it was cross-contaminated from a source in China. The manufacturer didn't clean the equipment properly. Another case was microcrystalline cellulose, an excipient that was cross-contaminated with methylhexylamine. So it happens even on ingredients that are not active ingredients if it's produced in facilities that have poor quality control. Or it comes from botanical products. There are many botanical products that have naturally occurring steroidal or stimulants in them. So many times brands will formulate a product with certain botanicals and they could have naturally occurrings in them, and that's where we'll see those from. From a manufacturing, it's typically done from poor cleaning or not robust enough cleaning. And so that's partly why this type of a program that we're talking to you about is so important, is ensuring that all of the cleaning SOPs, the cleaning agents, everything is in place to make sure that the equipment's properly cleaned, but also properly handled. And that's where the other things, so cleaning and proper handling of those high-risk raw materials are the other area that we tend to see cross-contamination issues. Next slide. So what does a brand go through when they certify a product? So a brand, what they'll do is they'll submit what we call a new product information form, and that's giving us all the information that we need to know about that product. So we'll look at the product, its ingredient, we'll look at everything about it, ensuring that, one, that the product can be certified, that it doesn't include high-risk raw materials, but also that it doesn't have anything that potentially might be high risk. We'll go through with our manufacturing sites. We'll look at all the raw materials handled in the facility, ensuring that there are no banned substances, or if there are, that they're properly handled, that they're not coming in contact with products that are certified under one of the informed programs. We'll look at the raw material supplier assessment that you have with your raw material suppliers, ensuring that all the proper vetting is in place. And then we look at all the SOPs, critical control points within the facility, from the production and packing areas, ensuring that all the cleaning, handling, hygiene, everything is in place to avoid any cross-contamination. And then there'll be additional testing that will verify that is being done for label verification, identity testing, as well as the pre-certification testing. We'll test up to 5 samples of that finished good to ensure that that product has no evidence of a banned substance in it before it could be certified. Next slide. So from this program, from the informed manufacturing, it's really taking the next step in quality assurance. It's elevating the trust with the customer. The first step is minimizing the risk, and that's going through this process, going through the desk audit, going through the swabbing, going through everything. Oops. I'm sorry, I just had another screen pop up, and back to the presentation. So it's minimizing the risk through the desk-based audit. Then it's conveying that commitment. So once you've gone through, it's conveying that commitment to your customers about the controls that you have in place. It's building the brand confidence with your customers. That's going to differentiate you from your competitors. And the brands that we work with, especially the larger brands, they're looking for informed manufacturers because they want to ensure that they're not going to have a problem. They want to make sure that when they go into production, there wasn't some cross-contamination that happened through the supply chain or manufacturing, that they'll pass that test and not have any issues. So that's really building that confidence with that brand, that you have a much higher level of quality assurance, especially as it relates to banned substances and sports nutrition products. And of course, then to the certification and promotion of the informed manufacturing program. Next slide. So the elements of the informed manufacturer, it's really simple. It's a desk-based certification audit where we interrogate the production and quality processes. We go through an on-site certification assessment. So once we've gone through the desk-based audit, an LGC administrator will come out, do an inspection, we'll take swabs to the facility, looking for any evidence of prohibited substances in sport. And it's mainly ensuring that there's appropriate cleaning practices in place there through evidence of swab testing. And then that gets you certification. After that, there will be an annual recertification process, which is a desk-based audit again. So it's the same desk-based audit and swab testing, but rather than having an LGC administrator, we give you the option to do the swab testing yourselves and send those in. Next slide, please. So the certification process, as I said, it's pretty simple. Desk-based audit. We do the on-site inspection. We'll come out. We'll test. We'll collect swabs. Test those swabs. We'll report the results to you. As long as everything goes through, everything passes, we'll issue the certificate to ensure that the product. The certificate of analysis has been issued, and then of course you have the signed agreement. You can start using that logo, and then after that we go through the annual renewal of the program, which I just covered a second ago. Next slide. So the certification process, it starts with the desk-based audit. The certification starts, with that audit. It was developed over 15 years of experience in contamination risk within the manufacturing facility. It's based on a clear and robust informed manufacturer global standard covering risk management for food safety and quality. And so this is one, as I mentioned earlier, we've been doing this for a long time. And so when we've gone through and have done our investigations, we've really can pinpoint where contamination happens, what SOPs are necessary to be put in place, and really minimize that risk. And when you're looking at banned substances and you're getting down into the parts per billion levels, it's really important going through all of these things. We're not going to go through every bullet point on here, but this gives you an idea of all of the things that we're looking for to minimize that risk. But essentially, it's looking at management of commitment and responsibility, food safety, quality management systems, traceability and product control, operational control and production. It's really the cornerstone of the informed certification process. We want to eliminate a risk before it happens. If we test a product and it fails, it's already too late. So everything that we're doing here is doing everything to minimize that risk from happening in the first place. And so with this desk-based audit, we'll be issuing a brand standards book that goes through all the testing specifications, logo use, but it also has the global standard in there, so you'll be able to review that. We'll also issue ahead of this some guidance, a checklist that you'll be able to prepare for it. You'll know exactly what we're going to need in detail. So this way, when you go into that desk-based audit, you'll be fully prepared. Next slide, please. The cost of the program, this is something we've just gone through and revamped to make sure that this is fit for purpose. It's based on the size of the facility. When we start the process, we will issue what we call informed manufacturer information form. So it's just getting a little bit of information about you as the manufacturer. We want to look at the size of your facility. We want to look at what types of formulations that you're handling. The number of employees, all the things that tell us, essentially who you are as a brand. And, instead of having a one-size-fits-all type certification, it's really tailored to the size of manufacturer that you are. So once we've gone through and you provided this data, then somebody from the Inform team, one of the representatives, will be able to provide you with what category you fall into, what your price points would be, so you know exactly what you're looking at from a cost standpoint. Next slide. This is a breakdown of what that would look like. So these are the scoring factors that we work with. So you've got 1 point up to 5 points, and we're looking at square footage. So anywhere from under 51,000 feet to over 400,000 feet is what we're looking at. The number of employees, the number of product formulations, and when we say formulations, we're talking about powders, liquids, capsules, tablets. Again, that gives us an idea of the type of manufacturer and how many production areas that you may have. Based on the scoring, we'll total those up. If you're between 1 and 4, you're a category A. Up to 13 to 14, that would give you a category E, and then depending on where you fall, anywhere in between. Next slide. And so how this would break down in costs, a category A would require 10 swabs, category B 15, up to category E where we would take 30 swabs. From a cost standpoint, In the case here, 4,200 euro up to 7,200, almost 7,300 euro. What the certification is going to cover is the desk-based audit. It's going to include an on-site inspection. So this is covering the cost, or this is covering the LGC administrator coming out, doing the inspection, doing the swabbing, actually doing the testing of the swabbing, and then the license to use the Inform manufacturing logo. If you are a site that are not currently working to a GFSI recognized standard or a GMP standard, this may require an enhanced audit to ensure that not just cross-contamination issues are being addressed, but appropriate quality systems are also in place. There will be an additional fee, but that's only at certification. When you go through recertification, that cost will go away. So this is just because there has to be a little bit more work that goes into that initial audit process. But if you are, like I said, if you're a GFSI recognized or a GMP certified facility, then this cost wouldn't apply. We will do remote assessments. This is an effective way to conduct the desk-based audits. And so this will enable, the communication with one of our Inform team members once all that required information is available. The recertification visits are an option, meaning going forward. So the first one, an LGC employee will need to do the on-site inspection, and the annual renewal, that way will enable you to take your own swabs, and so you'll be able to do a self-swabbing essentially. In the event that you decide that, no, I want to have a informed a representative come out and do the swabbing, we can do that. There will be an additional cost applied, and so we would be able to quote you that depending on what those travel and accommodation costs would be. But the simplest option is for the sites to do your own swabbing. Next slide. Right now, getting into the rewards program. You can go into the next slide. Yeah, we're excited to introduce it's a new rewards program where Inform manufacturers can enjoy the benefits of the Inform finished product certification growth and really reduce the certification costs even further for you. It allows our manufacturing sites to earn as much as a 50% discount on certification fees, depending on how many certified products you're manufacturing or how many new brands that you introduce and become certified. In addition to that, we're also offering where you can offer your customers for any new Inform customers. So if this is a customer who we're currently not working with, you introduce them to us, they certify, you can offer them 25% off their certification fees as an advantage that maybe one of your competitors don't have. Getting into the rewards program on how this would look. So if you are currently an Informed manufacturer working with existing accounts, you can earn a discount based on the total number of products that you're producing, the total number of Informed products. So if you're, say, producing 5 to 14 Informed certified products, you can earn a 5% discount off of the list price. And the previous screen showing what those costs would be, that would be the list price. Up to, if you're doing 40 or more products, you can earn up to 25% discount off your certification fee. The brand referral discount, so what this is if you're working with one of your customers and they are not currently an Inform certified, they do not have any Inform certified products, we consider that new. So it's a referral discount. So you could earn, for each new brand that you introduce to the Inform program, you can earn an additional 5% per customer, up to 25%. And so from a combination of new products, existing products that you're manufacturing to any new products that you may refer, you could earn a maximum of 50% discount off of your list price on the certification. And then the downstream discount for your customers, for any new customers that you're introducing to us, or if we're bringing you a new customer potentially, working through you, they can earn a 25% discount off their certification fee. So it's a 25% discount off of list price. So we're trying to be very, again, share in the success of the program, but also trying to find further ways that we can help minimize, the cost to you. Next slide. So here's an example of what this might look like. In the first case, maybe you're a category A, you're producing 8 products. There's 2 customers that you've referred to us. So your price would be £3,750 for your list price. That 5% discount for those 8 products would knock off 187 pounds. Those 2 brands, that times 5%, so that's a total of 10%. That's an additional 375 pounds you could take off of your certification fee for a net of 3185, and that would go towards that price point would be for your recertification fee. If you look at the last one, if you're a large facility, category E, you're producing 28 products or more in this example, that earns you a 15% discount. You can take almost 1,000 pounds off there. You've referred 7 brands, times that, 5%, or a total of 35%. There could be an additional 2,200 pounds reduced. So you can essentially be cutting your costs in half, just again by sharing and being part of this rewards program. Next slide. And lastly, marketing support. This is something that we are going to be doing much more. So can you go to the next slide, Zach? Yeah, so this is about promoting your certification, and this is about adding value to the certification. We want to make sure that whether you're a finished product customer certifying with us or a manufacturing ingredient supplier, we want to make sure you're getting the most out of the program and the most value. So what we've done is within our website, we have, you can create your own dedicated web page profile. So you can include photos of their site, contact information, what your capabilities, whatever information that you want to share on your page, you can do that. So we have our brands constantly going to this site to see who are the informed manufacturers. So they're going to want to learn about you, what your capabilities are, to see if they may align with what their needs are. We'll provide some logo usage training, so what's the best way to use the logo to get the most awareness from that. We'll do social marketing collaboration, announcing the certification, trying to work together, getting information about you to the finished product customers. And then, of course, we'll help with any content on your website. So we'll be able to produce a template for you. So if you want to create a page within your website explaining what the certification means, we'll be able to help you with that. And then within our rewards program, it's about providing educational collateral. So you have your brands, and I had mentioned about any referrals. We want to make sure that you're armed with any brochures, information about the program, so you're able to provide and provide them a base education about what that certification is. We'll be able to help you develop any email and website content templates, so things that you can send to those brands, alerting them of your certification and what they can achieve through certification of those finished goods. And then we'll provide referral tools such as a QR code that you'll be able to send along with this. So all they have to do is scan it, and that'll take them to a page where they can start certification. So what we're trying to do, again, is make sure that you have all the information, everything that you need to actively promote the certification to get the most value, but then also ensuring that you have the materials that you can share with your customers, and you can be the experts talking to them. And again, to be able to help drive more of that revenue and share in some of those successes through the rewards program. Next slide. And that concludes the presentation portion of the webinar. Now I'd like to open it up for any question and answers. I'm not sure if we have any in the chat, but let's open it up for questions.
I do see that we have one message in the chat right now for you, Paul. So first off, let's see, can you tell me more about how the desk-based audit will be run?
Yeah, so the desk-based audit, so essentially, once you start the certification process, an LGC administrator will issue you credentials. So it's a secure website called Forum Site that you will go to that has all the electronic desk-based audit. And from there, you can take that in sections. You can take it at whatever pace that you need to do. But it's essentially where you'll be answering questions, you'll be uploading certain documents. But essentially it is walking you through that whole process, and then once complete, an LGC administrator will review all the documents that is submitted. There may be some follow-up from the administrator, whether it's clarifying questions or looking for additional documents, but essentially a process that everything is done electronically through a secure portal on our website.
That is the only question that we had in the chat as of right now. If anyone else has any questions, feel free to insert them into the chat at your earliest convenience. Otherwise, Paul, if you have anything else you would like to add at the end.
No, again, just want to thank everybody for joining this webinar. You know, please contact LGC, whether it's through our website. We have a contact page where you can reach out to us there, or one of our LGC representatives.